AITA for telling my older sister, who's actually my bio mom, that she's not my daughter's grandma? Hi. 31F here. I'm married to my high school sweetheart Oliver and am 7 months pregnant with our first child, a little girl. The pregnancy has gone smoothly so far, but unfortunately, it's brought up some pretty intense feelings from some of my relatives. My bio mom Christy actually gave birth to me when she was only 17 years old. My bio grandparents adopted me and treated me like one of their own children. For years, I thought Christy and that her 2 older brothers were my siblings and that I was a surprise baby. I wasn't close to Christy growing up because she moved across the country for college and stayed there after she graduated. She did visit for holidays, but I noticed from a young age that she didn't take much of an interest in me and seemed pretty distant. My brothers always did things with me when they were home and even invited me to visit them when I was old enough, but Christy never made any effort to get to know me. I don't think we ever did anything just the 2 of us for my entire childhood. Christy is now married and has 2 teenage sons, I think 15 and 17 now, and I also never got to know them outside of family events. I found out Christy was my bio mom my junior year of high school, and I was shocked to say the least. My parents explained that she loves me very much, but she was too young to be a mother when she had me. They also said my bio father was several years older and abusive towards her. I haven't asked for any other details about this and don't particularly want to know. I'll preface this by saying that I'm extremely grateful to Christy for allowing my grandparents to adopt me, especially considering how hard it must have been for her to see her biological daughter at family events and be reminded of what she went through at such a young age. After I learned that she was my mother, our relationship didn't change much, but it did explain why she always kept her distance from me. Sadly, my mother, bio grandma, passed away around 2 years ago. It was devastating because she was the person I called every day and was the best mom growing up. I had a long talk with Christy when she came to town for the funeral. It was the first time we had a conversation about the fact that she's my bio mom, and she expressed that she would like to get to know me better. I actually visited her shortly after the funeral for a week, and we had some very serious talks. She told me that she always loved me, but it was painful having to give me up, which is why she kept her distance for so many years. She also said she wants to get to know me better and is in a place in her life where we can have a real relationship. I was excited about this, and we've been speaking much more than we ever have, i.e. sending text message and phone calls occasionally, over the last few years. I love Christy and am happy we're building a relationship, but the truth is I'll never see her as my mother. In my heart, my mother is gone, and the best I can hope for with Christy is that I'll finally develop a relationship with my older sister. However, lately, it seems like Christy wants more from our relationship. Ever since I told her about the pregnancy, I've noticed she's been calling me even more. She's given me a lot of advice and gifts, and just wants to be involved with the pregnancy. I was happy about this initially, and I thought we were on the same page that she's my daughter's aunt, but I realized we view her role a bit differently in a phone call we had over the weekend. Out of the blue, Christy asked me I wanted her to fly out to help when I have the baby. I told her that's so sweet, but I should be okay. I said I'd like her to visit when the baby is a few months old after I've gotten settled. She mentioned how her mother was there when she had her sons, i.e. being in the delivery room and staying for a few weeks after they were born, and said she wanted me to have the same support. I mentioned that my mother-in-law, who I've known since high school and am close with, is going to be in the delivery room and is going to help us get settled when the baby is born. I truly didn't think this would offend Christy since we've never had a close relationship, but apparently it did, because she called me a few hours later and said she was sad I wasn't including her more in the birth of my child. I said I didn't think she'd be offended because she's busy raising 2 teenage boys and I didn't think we had the type of relationship where she'd expect or even want to be involved with these things. Christy then said that my daughter is her granddaughter and she wants to be involved to the same extent as my mother-in-law. This completely shocked me. I told Christy that she's my daughter's aunt, and she said we both know that's not true. I explained to her that I view her as my older sister and not my mother, and so they makes her an aunt. Christy said that we didn't get a chance to have a mother-slash-daughter relationship because of the circumstances, and she doesn't see why she can't be a grandmother to my daughter. I told her I want her to be close with my daughter and that I'll do what I can to help facilitate that relationship. But since I don't see her as my mom, I don't feel comfortable with her being in the delivery room or being at my house immediately after the baby is born to help out. Christy said she understood, but I could tell she was crying and said she had to go. I got a phone call from my older brother Christopher earlier today, and he said he wasn't supposed to tell me this, but I was breaking Christy's heart. He said that she went through a lot to have me and for me to have a happy life with our family. He asked why I can't include her in the birth of my child and let her be a grandma to my child. I told him that I'm grateful to Christy for everything, but it feels like she's using my baby as a do-over because we didn't have a close relationship. I told Christopher if I had to choose a sibling to be in the delivery room, it would be him because we were close growing up and had an actual relationship. Christopher thinks I'm being unnecessarily mean, but I truly just don't see Christy as my mom and don't need her to do motherly things for me now that I'm having a baby. It's also hurtful that she's so keen on having this close relationship with my daughter when for most of my life, she never made an effort to have even a sisterly relationship with me. I want to continue building our relationship and I'm happy with the progress we're making, but also, this isn't something that's going to happen overnight just because I'm having a baby. AITA? Any advice on how to navigate this would be appreciated.